seems like this month has been especially violent in Lexington. There is a reason.
Our Christiana Ford took a look at the numbers. This month, the city has seen the most homicides in 1 month in more than 10 years. She asked the mayor and chief of police about what needs to happen to slow the uptick in violence.
On May the 1st, 40-year-old Ricky Williams Jr. was shot and killed. A day later, 2 children, 13-year-old Dion and 5-year-old Skylar, were stabbed to death. 5 days later, 20-year-old Amaya Taylor Sanifer and James Boss Jr. shot and killed. 10 days after that, 42-year-old Eric Boone was killed in broad daylight. 4 days after that, 34-year-old Todd Kenyon was shot and killed. Just 4 days later, 65-year-old Lisa Wilson, 42-year-old Brianni Wilson, and 38-year-old Bronwyn Wilson were all shot to death.
Another shooting, another shooting.
It's a kind of grief that weighs on an entire community, no matter if they knew the victims or not.
Oh, there's families involved in that. Nothing compares to how rough and how devastating it is to them. For my officers, I worry about them. This is unprecedented.
According to police crime data, this May marks the deadliest month we've seen in the city since at least 2008. 5 domestic violence-related homicides and 9 gun violence-related ones.
I understand people are angry. They're upset.
At a time when everyone is blaming someone, city leaders say they are doing all they can, focusing on the long-term fixes.
The interesting thing about crime is people want to fix today. They want to do it today, and that's unrealistic.
You know, the blame game is going around right now. Everyone wants to blame people. For you, just in your heart, do you feel like you're doing all that you can in this issue?
I do feel I have focused on this every single day.
What's left to do when local leaders feel they're already doing all they can? Lexington Police Chief Lawrence Weather says he'll continue to shout about the need for information from the community.
I don't need them to provide us everything, but they need to provide us whatever it is they have so we can work through it and figure out what's going on. Because if people know they're going to get caught, chances are they won't do some of the bad things that they do.
Hoping a community filled with fear and growing concern for a hot summer will use that as fuel to help them.
Every summer's hot. That's just the way it is. But you know what? The community as a whole has to be the one to keep the lid on it, to keep it from boiling over. By the time stuff gets to us, the problem's already out there.
While the mayor can't make any changes to her proposed budget, the urban county government can. Many are hoping the focus will be on more resources for mental health. LPD gets help from New Vista, but more times than not, officers are filling many different roles.
We see domestics, we see drugs, we even see some mental illness situations. I think we'd be remiss or to focus on something else when that is staring us right in the face.
And they're praying the city never sees another month like this one. Christiana Ford, LEX 18 News.